Yeah.
Do you guys give any credence to the idea of he wanted to be canceled to get out of his contract? Like he said all this crazy stuff on purpose as a tricky way to get out of a contract he couldn't get out of. Do you guys?
What contract was he under? What you talking about?
Gap and Adidas particularly.
Nah.
I think he was really off his meds. Like, you know, if you ever been around bipolar people, they can be very, very erratic when they don't take medicine. They say things, they you know what I mean? And then him probably, you know, using his celebrity, like, you know what, I don't have to take my shit, it's me. And which made that shit develop even worse. And, you know, ain't no excuse, but, you know, if you be around somebody that's bipolar, I got a family member that's bipolar, schizophrenic, and when they don't take their medicine, they're a whole totally different person. It's literally night and day.
See, interesting. Like interesting. Oh, go ahead, Stat. While your internet work.
No, go ahead. You're right.
Oh no, hell no.
You are hilarious. But you right. You ain't lying though. Well, I'm gonna say this because I done been around dude. Dude's so cool, man. I know a lot of people don't like him, but dude's so cool. And some of the things he be doing. This is why people forgive him, because when you around him and he not in that mode, like AD was saying, dude just cool. Like you like, man, this can't be the same guy. You know what I'm saying? And he's a very talented person. Like, you know, people give him and say he can't write. I have written with him. The dude is dope. You know what I'm saying? Like dude is dope and very talented. But man, that he got a condition. He got Tourette's of the mouth, you know what I'm saying? And he's out here saying some foul stuff. And sometimes like apologizing just ain't enough. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. It's just, I'm sorry, just don't go far. It ain't enough. That's not enough no more, I don't think, in his case. Sorry.
Yeah, I was watching. Oh, I'm sorry. Now I'm cutting you off, Phil. You go ahead.
That's fine. Your internet works, so I'm good before you know.
Yeah, I'm good.
I think
I'm here all night.
If I believe that it was just the medicine thing, I would definitely have much more grace, because that's even a scary thing, dealing with like degradation of your own faculties. Like that has to be scary in itself. And, you know, maybe you don't trust the pharmaceutical industry or whatever. So I would actually have more grace, but I don't think I believe it like to that extreme. Like, because there was like a laughing gas thing going on and all that. So I lean a little more towards, you got to be, you know, hard to be humble when you stand on a Jumbotron. You got to be so big. And it sounded to me like the people you looked up to and the people you wanted to be like were like white heroes. You like, he had all these white Walt Disney. Like I still can hear that in my mind when he was like Walt Disney. Like he was really trying to stunt on reflecting those people's career. And I just think it's like a level of like self-hate in a way. I don't even want to say self-hate. It's almost like, it feels like he didn't think Black success was good enough. He wanted white success. And then I feel like he kept pushing that image out, pushing that idea out in kind of a taunting way. I'm putting the hat on and I'm doing it for Larry Hoover. Like it kind of reminded me of Black MAGA in a way. And I feel like we had a lot of precursors before he got there. And so that's really what I don't forgive. That's really what just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I'm like, nigga, well, whatever. You on your own now.
You know, I actually did think he did some of the stuff to get out of his contract at the time. I've made content about it. You know what I mean? He was vocal about wanting to get out of Adidas and Gap at that point in time. And so he went to he stretched that contract as far as possible to figure out when it would break, and found it. And he did, and as a result, end up getting his IP back, which is almost unheard of in those type of contracts.
Exactly.
Right? So whether or not he did that intentionally, it worked out to his benefit, which I guess you could say a lot of things tend to do with Kanye. I also thought it was really powerful when Vultures dropped and he had the #1 song and the #1 album at the same time, because that was an independent project, right? And so you look at the Adidas stuff, you look at the Gap stuff, and you look at Vultures. To me, I'm like, I mean, what can I say, right? It's after Vultures and a lot of the antics, or whatever you want to call them, because I don't think antics is necessarily strong enough to capture what was happening. Perhaps the mental illness. when that really exploded, that's when I got confused. Because after Vultures, after he accomplished all these things that he was saying during the time when he first started White Lives Matter, when he first started, talking about the Jewish community, to me, there was at least a purpose that I could see. After that, it started to feel different. And I asked a friend of mine who's also from Chicago, what they thought about Ye right now. And they said they left Ye alone since Life of Pablo. And I said, well, you don't believe that he has mental illness? And this is what they said. And I thought this was very interesting because I think maybe there is something to this. I could be off. But they said, I believe the unresolved grief he has in his life, mixed with drugs and the pitfalls of wealth, can mimic bipolar disorder mania. And so, and this person has dealt with, mental illness in a chemical way at different points in time. And so that was a brand new thought for me this week too. I don't necessarily like to focus on people's health challenges, addictions and struggles in that regard, but there's a lot of different reasons that people have been giving to explain where they are with Ye right now. And I don't know what the future holds, for him, at least publicly.
Can I ask the question? Can I ask the question for everybody up here? Because I'm just curious. If Kanye West dropped an album that was comparable to like his whatever you think his greatest record is, but the conversation went against your political viewpoints and your standpoints, would you guys still listen to the music? Does your political viewpoint mean that much to you when consuming music to where you can't support it because he doesn't agree with you? I want to ask L that first because I'm just curious.
Depends on what level of my political viewpoint. If you think that
on his level, where you frustrated right now.
Yes, his level is because it negatively affects my life in a real way. Like music is fun, but I'm still alive. You know what I mean? Like you negatively affect my life in a real way, promoting Trump, especially being as powerful and influential as you are. Like a lot of people just say, oh, it's just Democrat, Republicans, it's the same thing. No, they formed an oligarchy and they specifically targeting low income and middle income people to rob them blind and enrich a bunch of billionaires. Like that's literally happening right in front of your face, committing all types of crimes, but let somebody in a different neighborhood steal some shit out of Walgreens, you're gonna swear to God they supposed to be under the jail. Like it really is a serious shift in what's acceptable in America, as troubled as America already is. And so you being like, I'm gonna be different, go Trump. When I remember you from being like, George Bush don't really care about Black people, it's really a significant thing. So things like that, yeah. But if like we disagree on school choice, I'm gonna still bump your shit.
I feel the exact same way because it wasn't even just the MAGA hat and Trump, like the Trump 2.0, like or the Trump 1.0. It was Nick Fuentes, like it was the next generation, like the Hitler Youth, so to speak. Like he had his hand in kind of that legacy Republican side where Trump was just like, oh, like he says fuck, like in a debate, like we were clutching our pearls, to the point now that it's like, you will not replace us and blah, blah. Like he was stoking that type of brandishing, swastika with Nick Fuentes, with all, Sneeko, all these Holocaust. Like he's stoked even the next iteration of this fascism that, to Elle's point, is directly impacting us. And it's like, I can't put that in my ears, in my universe. No.
I think it's telling of your character. And I don't even really think he understands it to the point of being like, yeah, let's go white supremacists. I don't think he even understands it to that level. I think he's like, I want to be different. And these Democrats have been doing us wrong, which they have. And so I'm going to be so outrageous that I'm going to stand over here where people say I can't stand, because who are they to tell me where I can stand? I'm big bad Kanye West. And I just think it's wildly irresponsible and fuck them.
So no matter what that music sound like, you not rocking
Now,
with
hold on. If we get college dropout, late registration level,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm going to listen. If inside of that album he goes, shout out to my nigga Trump, I'm going to turn it off. So
Okay,
that,
cool. I'm just
that's
checking.
my limit. So if we start
I'm just
getting that
checking.
high,
I'm talking about up there. I'm talking about Thriller. Like this is the great. Like oh my god, this is
Thriller.
award. We're like Pulitzer Prize. I'm saying like the greatest album he could ever make. But all throughout it, and you know he's on the opposite end of you where you are politically. Would you still listen to that music? So that and enjoy it though. That's my question.
Is he saying the political stuff in the album?
All through it, but it's jamming all through it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm just asking.
If he's talking about something else, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't want to act like I'm just super holier than now. If he's talking about something else and it's Thriller, I mean, damn, Thriller, shit.
Well, maybe. I'm not a super religious dude. Like I'm not like I don't subscribe to like different religions. But if it's like a song that's incredible, whoever they singing to, God, Allah, Jesus, whoever they rocking with, I'm like, oh, this is banging. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I got a whole gospel playlist, even though I ain't like the super church man. So I'm just curious you guys' point of view.
Well, no, I get. Well, if your question is, and I don't know if because I know we started late, so I feel like I can hear Justin being like 30 seconds and we changing the shit. But
no, they're good. You're good. You're good.
If your question is it because I disagree with him that I don't want to listen to it? No, that's not the thing. I can disagree with you. I mean, I disagree with some of the people when they talk about women or who can and who can't snitch, and some of the people who are not black who say nigga. I disagree politically in a way with those politics in a lot of ways, but I am a failed revolutionary. So I still believe in a lot of liberation science that I feel like he's directly working against, like not just speaking against, but working against, attempting to convince people to look away and to help oppressive people. And it's like, nah, I could never fuck with that. Hell no.
Yeah, I'm not trying to tell you. I'm literally. No,
I don't think you are. I just want to be specific. It's not that I disagree. It's that I disagree so much. Like he's like it. Like he's on like a super sensitive spot for me. It's the third rail for me.
You know, with these Ye conversations, particularly when I guess they popped up again this week when he was banned from the UK. Mm-hmm. People draw the comparison between the things that has pissed everybody off that Ye has said and done, to drill music, to violent rap songs where people aren't necessarily positioned the same way, to people who are in the Epstein files, to a number of things that are way worse in the world to a lot of people, from a lot of people's perspective, than the things that Ye has been, or at least attempted to be canceled over. Is that a fair argument in you guys' mind, or do you guys feel like that's kind of it's kind of a false equivalency?
Well, the problem is it's a racist law in England. So, like, if you look up the history of that law, it's Part 9 of their immigration law. Like, it's been known they had an algorithm for choosing which countries would get more investigation to figure out if you are not conducive to the public good, which is the term that they're using. There was like a Nigerian family that wanted to go to England, but they were considered not conducive to the public good because they were like the bodyguard of some politician. So it's always been like kind of a racist law to make sure that the wrong people can't get into England. So it's not surprising that if Tucker Carlson, who is a much more noxious, much more overt white supremacist than even Ye is, I'm sure he's going to have no problem going and giving a speech to a bunch of ghouls somewhere in London. So I'm not saying I'm not saying that Kanye shouldn't be banned from going places, but I'm saying this law, like, I feel like if we're focusing on, but other people did it, it's like, these are the kinds of laws that Trump has been passing in America. This is why no Haitians are going to be able to see Haiti play in the World Cup for the first time since 1974. It's just like, there's this just wash of all these racist laws that are coming in, and somehow Ye is in the middle of all of it. And anyways, I'll get off my soapbox, but that's what I feel like the argument should be.
AD, what do you think? Are you? Oh, my bad, BK. Go ahead.
I just think that's a great point. I didn't know it was a racist law, but I was against the banning because of the First Amendment issue. And I know that the UK doesn't have, comparable First Amendment laws that we do. But, as someone that is pro-Palestinian, I know that a lot of these bans have been hit on pro-Palestinian protesters and artists even. And so this kind of smelled like that to me, where I was like, okay, I don't know if I agree with banning someone from a country over their words. And also, I don't like this bad person got away with this bad thing. So like, why let him and not let, like, I'm pro justice. I'm pro like equity with the law and stuff. But I think the whataboutism is a slippery slope when it comes to like, why did this white evil man get to do this and this black evil man didn't get to do this? Okay, well, neither of the evil men should be able to do that. But when I saw the banning, over that, and not to even say that his words and his actions were not like directly harmful. Like I think that they are, but it is a slippery slope when you start to like ban people over their words, thoughts, ideas. And I'm generally just like not in support of that.
1 second pause. AD, what do you think?
How much Pepsi did Kanye West sell? I mean, I didn't listen to him at first because he did those Pepsi commercials. And I thought, oh man, he sold out. That sucks. And now they're the ones who are banning. Remember where he's walking through Chicago opening up the soda can? Anyways, bunch of hypocrites.
I mean, I think that like if this was somebody from another race and they said, something is equally disrespectful and, especially called us the N word or anything like that, they wouldn't have no problem letting them in England in any type of capacity too. So, I mean, everybody asked for freedom of speech. Hey, let the motherfucker go up in there. You know what I'm saying? Do his thing. That's how I feel. So when it comes to black people, nobody blink an eye when people are, you got white content creators fighting to say the N-word. No one's banning them for their platforms or doing anything like that right now. So yeah, that's where I stand with it.
1 second pause.
Yeah, I think
you look like you wanted to say something.
I was looking at him too, but he ain't say nothing. I was like, I leaned forward with him.
I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna be quiet because I'm just gonna say, whenever you want to know who has all the power, just think about who you cannot speak about without serious retribution. So that's it. Y'all figure that out.
The thing that I'm always in my core, especially from a principle standpoint, a value standpoint, I'm right there with L and BK, right? That's how I've been raised. That's the generations of us, how we've been raised, right? But then when I see the corporate backlash to Ye, it pulls me back in.
I know.
You know what I mean? It's like, wait. This can't be the priority, right? And it's almost like, and me and Elle were talking about this last night. You want to tell them what you said? I don't want to take what you said.
Yeah, I hate that now you guys are giving me a reason to have to take up for Kanye because fuck Kanye. But we're going to whoop Kanye ass in the house. Y'all not going to whoop Kanye ass outside in the street like that because if you could whoop on him, y'all going to think y'all can whoop on us. And really, that's the issue with Kanye to me. The way it's supposed to work is we beef in here and we stand united outside. He want to stand with them, and then they're gonna turn around and slap the shit out you, and then now we got to come outside and take up for you. This is some bullshit and pull you back in the house where we was already whooping your ass. So I really don't like that they banned him because now it's like I feel like now I got to come outside and be like, all right, take your hands off of him though, because there's like you said, there's a lot of problematic people that they gonna let in the U. And I think Tucker Carlson was a great example. I was trying to think of another good one. I don't think I can think of one better than Tucker Carlson, especially if we're only talking about anti-Semitism. And so, although I still want to throw him down the stairs in the house, I am going to come outside when they rough him up outside.
Black people can't save Kanye West.
Black people can't save Kanye West.
No, they can't because the people that banned Kanye West from that country, black people can't control them. So y'all,
yeah, but we're just not mad enough. Black people. The thing about black people is we have to. Our powers unite. What was that? Captain Planet. Yep. All of our powers have to unite. We all have to be activated.
We don't control the money. We don't control the money. He who controls the money controls the world. And because we all fixated on having more money. So all they gotta do with us, just being truthful, is throw money at us, and we gonna separate anyway. Money will split us apart. We ain't gonna stay together. That's what happens. You give one $2 billion, you give this one $2 billion, then they separate from the rest of the flock. This is a known. This is how you do it. This is the game. So that's why we're not power, because we won't come together. We won't, because the money will separate us for sure. And he who controls the money controls everything. That's why
although I understand what you're saying, I think history shows when we get activated enough, The real question is, what does it take at this time and place to activate us? When we get activated enough, we do gel into one huge blob that will overtake the world, money or not. Because I know you say we don't control the money, but a lot of ways we do, because one, we will tear some shit down, first of all. And two, we are kind of the arbiters of cool. And when we come together and dismiss something as not cool, a lot of times it can disrupt the money, especially if, like I said, if we're activated. So I get what you're saying. I just don't think it's an absolute. There are some times when we like, what? Like, did you see the Montgomery Brawl? Them people had money. We didn't have no boat.
To quote my great scholar, Killer Mike, we have no weapons, no hospitals. We don't have our own currency. We can't grow our own foods. We like, what are you talking about? So
No,
like, if they shut the grocery store down right now, there will be panic and pandemonium all throughout the streets. We saw in COVID. In COVID, they told us not to stay. They told us to stay our ass in the house. Didn't we do it? We don't control. We don't run nothing. And you know,
there are a lot of places that didn't. For instance, Atlanta never closed. Them niggas got immune systems from out this world. But there's a lot of places that did not do that. There was a lot of people who were eating because really in our community, we share food anyway. So I don't think a lot of Black folks was just starving to death during that time. We'll come up with our own barter system and trade food. And we will kick the door in the grocery store, take everything, lay everybody down. But we don't want to, but we will. And I agree.
Do you have you got a nuclear weapon over there?
Hold tight.
But I agree with what you're saying. I'm about to come agree with you about that. Now I agree. And no, Trump, I don't. This is that little.
No, Trump, I don't.
I'm not gonna make it up. I wouldn't want you to fake threaten me.
Oh, me? I'm not. No, I'm
Trump right now. I wouldn't want you to fake like you're gonna do something and ruin the civilization, Trump.
Well, anyway, I'm just saying this. I'm not riding with. Okay, I'm about to agree with you. I'm sorry.
I do push back on a lot of people. Like I said, a failed revolutionary. And I say I'm a failed revolutionary because I don't have drones. I don't have tanks. I don't have the ability to blow some shit up without you even seeing me. And I think the only way to overtake something on that level requires those type of resources. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about getting Kanye West to headline a damn wireless festival in the UK. That type of shit, I do think we could shift if we cared. But Kanye, we don't care.
You think that's a whole nother country? Black people over here that can't even come together and decide if we're gonna shop in H&M and Target, we're gonna tell them what to do with Kanye West.
I'll say this: the BBC.
I was about to say the BAFTAs.
Yep, I was just about to go hell. They call hell over there. They made a lot of policy changes based on the reaction that we had to my man with Tourette's talking to Michael B. Jordan. Mm-hmm. And I think more than anything else when I think about this conversation, because I know that we think about this stuff all the time, and I think that I no longer think that this is a conversation that has to live at the polls. Like, can we do something or can't we do something, right? Mm-hmm. I just think that what's important is for any community, including our community, to figure out what our Hormuz Strait is. What is this one thing that we got that can disrupt everything? And I think over history, we've shown that we're willing to do that, which is where I tend to agree with L, right? A bus boycott, for example, is a Hormuz Strait, right? Mm-hmm. What does that look like in 2026? Perhaps we're not organized enough, like Stat said, because people got money now. You know, people can floss on everybody now, so we're not even thinking as a community the same way. But I don't necessarily think that it's always has to take the biggest bombs, most expensive weapons, the biggest bank account to force other people to recognize what's important to you or recognize the issue that you have. You know what I'm saying?